Well, next week, the U.S. Senate will vote for a second time to convict former President Donald Trump. The move could bar Trump from running for public office again. Trump's legal team is expected to argue he cannot be impeached because he no longer holds office, while continuing to reiterate false claims that he won the election. Reporter Brock Turner has more.
After being banned from Twitter and voted out of office, former President Donald J. Trump remains in the spotlight. Next week, the Senate will hear arguments for and against convicting the twice impeached former president. Senate Democrats are expected to vote in favor of convicting, but whether they'll secure the votes from 17 Republicans is unknown. Indiana Senator Todd Young claimed this week he'd listened to both sides, but questions the constitutionality.
It's ambiguous. It was written ambiguously, but there are serious legal questions as I enter what we now know will be a trial, and those will be briefed before us.
Paul Helmke, the former Republican mayor of Fort Wayne and professor at Indiana University's O'Neill School, believes the Constitution is clear and that former office holders can be barred from holding office.
Once you have removed someone for office, they are by definition a former office holder. If a year ago the Senate had convicted him and removed him from office, they then could have voted on whether to disqualify him from holding office in the future. But when they took that vote on disqualification, he would have been by definition former President Trump.
Young echoed sentiments from Trump's legal brief submitted earlier this week, claiming the former president is a private citizen, thus is not able to be impeached.
I'm hearing that President Trump is now a private citizen. There are other avenues for those who want to, hold him to certain charges. There are other venues for that.
Helmke sees it differently and insists that courts can't bar a citizen from running for office.
If there's a concern that Donald Trump could run again, and he's made noises to that effect, and if there's a concern that because of what he's done, particularly around the January 6th events, makes him a future danger, the only way to bar Trump from possibly getting back into office is to take this step, to try him under the impeachment provisions, to convict him under the impeachment provisions, and then to bar him from holding office in the future.
If all Senate Democrats vote to convict, 17 Republicans would need to join them to result in conviction. Then the Senate could decide to bar him from running again. Helmke doubts that will happen, but says he would vote to convict.
I think a lot of them will just take an easy escape and say, gee, I don't like what Trump did, or, we don't know for sure, what role Trump played in this, but it's, since he's out of office, it's too late for us to weigh in. So I think they'll try the procedural dodge.
Why do you think they'll do that? Just because it's
I think there are a lot of elected officials on the Republican side that are still afraid of Donald Trump and afraid of him stirring up their voters. And so they, this way they can sort of vote on Trump's side, but without saying that they necessarily defend what happened.
Indiana's other Republican Senator, Mike Braun, who has embraced unverified election fraud claims from the 2020 election, did not respond to a request for comment. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Brock Turner.